What is up, guys? Wraec is here with a new video, and today I'm going to review Aylamak, and I'm going to show you guys what Aylamak is about, and maybe clear up some misconceptions people had about Aylamak. So I know I'm a little bit early for my usual time I take doing reviews, but I feel like I've already gotten a good grasp of what he's about and what you want to use him for, and if he's worth going for as maybe your first hero, or more like in endgame and in endgame PvP if you want him for PvP and PvE in endgame. That is something that we are going to talk about today. First though, I want to show you guys a team I made up with Aylamak before we get into any talking. First we are going to show some gameplay, of course. Let's hop into my PvP team, and that is basically the team I'm running. You can see there are a lot more Gilded Purple fans on this team. Actually, we are at 4, which is all that I have. I don't have a 5th one actually, so I would have tested that as well if a 5th one is really good. The thing is, he gives shields. He gives shields once one of your heroes got attacked. So the good thing is your heroes will often have shields on them, and you can combine that with MFF. So your heroes attack, they get a shield, they get attacked, they get a shield, so it's shields all over the place. I also got a 1-star copy of the core because I thought this was pretty cool, and this is the core this team uses. And the good thing about the core is there have been some SFX Drake teams, and those SFX Drake teams really rely on the enemy SFX being a really strong damage dealer, so having high attack, and attacking an enemy with defense down, because that is the only enemy that an SFX can kill. If an SFX, for example, attacks like a hero with Crown or a Gilded Purple fan, maybe she's going to do some damage, but that is going to be healed and it's not really going to be effective with this. Making this not really worth it, while if she would attack like a hero with defense down, she might have gotten a kill just with the basic attack. So that is the thing, and this core taunts the enemy, so taunts the two enemies with the highest attack, so also for most teams the SFX, and makes them attack Aylamak. And if Aylamak is not your lowest life hero, which by the way is a little bit badly set up, so he is at the moment lowest life hero, but that doesn't matter for our testing. Then she will just attack Aylamak. Aylamak will take it, no problem. And also, this has some really strong debuffs in there, like reduces crit by 25% every time, every 6 blocks, and precision, and you can buff that right up to like 80% crit reduction for the 2 enemies with the highest attack, cutting their damage like to a quarter or even less of what they would usually do. So that's really insane. We keep Ferric Investor in here. I really like Ferric Investor, and we took Star Alchemist Holmes out for that. So that is what we are going to do, and we are going to fight Artorias, old team, just so you can see what kind of difference that makes. That is like the team that was set up right before Artorias quit, by the way, if you guys didn't know that. So let's fight that, and I want to show you guys how tanky this team is, how strong this team can be, and also show you guys some mechanics in fight. I want to suggest you take a look at the shield bars. Every time they hit, they basically go up again, and this is Aylamak giving the other heroes on the team shields. There you can see the taunt as well. The SDE got taunted, just hit Aylamak, didn't hit anything else. And that is obviously pretty strong ability. And we could see there is not really much happening to the shields, and those shields regenerate right up, and this is really what Aylamak is doing. We saw some damage here. It's not too bad. I mean, it's not really super bad damage, just compared to the billions and billions of damage a Vulcan can do. Not too insane. I also tried Aylamak out in PvE. In Flame Shrine, for example, couldn't really perform well there, I have to say. Like, we couldn't keep up with Mockman or Vulcan or Ferric Investor or a lot of other heroes that I've tested. So that is not something I did. He did pretty well in Tower. I tried him in Tower, and what was really valuable for PvE, and something that I will certainly test once they release the 5th island of campaign, the counter-attack stun that he has. The counter-attack stun lasts more than 1 round, which means if she counterattacks in PvE, stuns an enemy, this enemy will likely be stunned for the next round as well, and you can stack that up with like Starring Jar, stack a different CC with LFA, And this can really be interesting and really be quite strong. So that is definitely something to keep in mind. On top of that, we obviously have like all the buffs that he gives. We have like the shields, and we have the GPF synergy, which is really nice. We have this little overshield. You can see the normal shield, and on top of that, another shield. That is the elegance buff. That is the all damage reduction that the elegance buff grants. All damage reduction itself has no icon in the game, so it's like none of those icons over the head of the heroes is all damage reduction, so we can't really see that. But other than that, we have this little effect, this little shield, and that is certainly interesting. Another thing to look out for, he has some sublimation that is broken for the moment. Usually there is a deep sublimation of the passive 3, and that would mean that every time that an ally is hit, and not himself, or like an ally and himself, he should do a counterattack. And in fact, right now, he's only counterattacking when he is attacked and blocks, not when any ally is under attack. So that is something that is still missing out. And I think, it's a theory, we don't know it yet. DH actually wrote in the patch notes that they weren't delivering all of the animations for Aylamak with this patch. So they want to give another patch or send another patch out later on, and in that patch there should be more animations for Aylamak. And maybe because they didn't have the animations ready, they also didn't activate the skills. Which might be a mistake on their side. We'll have to see about that. We'll have to see what the community managers say about that. But maybe we will see a little bit more strength on this hero later on. You can see the damage numbers here, and you can see, like, I mean, those are insanely strong heroes. For the time, I mean, it is an older setup, keep that in mind. But they can't really punch through, and you could see the shield regeneration from even the B- Aylamak, not even a high-tier copy. And damage-wise, we saw some good, some decent damage numbers in game. What we really see and what is really nice is we see a lot of hits. That means if like there is an enemy and he has already is already set an unbending will, and Aylamak does his active skill, he might not even inflict that much damage, but he will certainly get rid of a lot of layers of unbending will. So that's pretty nice. But you can see MFF did even more damage than him for now. So yeah. And MFF and him both have defensive imprints here. I run, I think, the R armor block on both. So yeah, that is pretty comparable actually. I think they even have pretty similar attack actually. Wait, let us check that out. Let's check the attack on Aylamak and MFF. MFF is a pretty high attack copy. It's like 7,300 attack with GK armor break. GK obviously not active in PvP. The armor break will help a little bit. 6.7 million attack, and on him we have 7.9 million attack. So yeah, damage-wise, not that impressive. We still have to test in Star Expedition, but I think in Star Expedition the damage numbers will be worse than in Flame Shrine, considering there are no nearby targets. Once you get rid of those tentacles, there are no nearby targets, and so a part of his skill goes into nothing. Then again, we have some attack steal, which is nice. I was also thinking about the burn synergy. He has burn on his counterattack. I thought, like, maybe we can include him in the team. Let him counterattack, burn the enemy, and then use Phoenix as a monster, because Phoenix is a really good monster. And that would have been really nice. But the thing with the counterattack and the burn is the monster or the boss in Star Expedition attacks after your heroes. So only then Aylamak will counterattack, will burn the enemy, and then the problem is if that boss purifies the burn after that, then you won't have it on the next round, thus losing your bonus damage, which is horrible, of course, and can be pretty devastating for your damage in the later rounds. So not quite sure that would be a good idea. He has no burn on the active or basic skills, so that is a little bit bad. The thing with him is you really get some nice precision debuffs for the enemy. You really get some nice block buffs for your heroes. You have the taunt synergy, and he is just great to put into that DTV team, because he provides so much that the DTV team can just use. He provides shields, provides survivability, he counters SFX, and some additional all damage reduction. We have some more debuffs for the enemy. We have reduced damage for the high attack heroes. So that is all in this hero. And that makes him pretty great. And the decision that I had to take between using Star Alchemist Holmes Young and using Hyperspace Hunter Aylamak, the main difficulty was you obviously lose out on a perceptual disorder from Sai. And Sai's perceptual disorder is quite valuable once you inflict it on like the enemy DTV. You are safe from the weakness disclosure active for like 1 or 2 rounds, and that can save you. But the thing is, I noticed that like Star Alchemist Holmes Young hits DTV quite often and does like a lot of, well, that is not entirely right. The thing is, when you run Star Alchemist Holmes Young on the enemy team, on your team, you kind of block the enemy from doing a little bit of stuff. And that seems to delay weakness disclosure activating. Weakness disclosure is like the skill effect of DTV that makes him punch through all defensive layers the enemy has, and it is activated when any enemy releases active skills. And it seems to work out in favor of the team not using Star Alchemist Holmes Young, that the DTV on the team without Star Alchemist Holmes Young, but our Hyperspace Hunter Aylamak instead, activates earlier. And that of course means that the enemy has to inflict perceptual disorder on your DTV, and then has to survive 1 or 2 more rounds for you to even have a chance of losing that. Because once he doesn't inflict perceptual disorder on your DTV, you're pretty much good to go, and you can counter that. I mean, this team could be even stronger. Just have like not the DTV as second strongest hero, but like the Aylamak and the Ferric Investor. Let those 2 take perceptual disorder, and the DTV will be almost safe from perceptual disorder and will attack very early, and you will have a pretty good win rate. So that is pretty nice as well, and that makes Aylamak overall a pretty strong addition to this team, and a pretty strong addition to certain teams in endgame. And what I'm also waiting for, because this guy actually has a huge synergy with another hero. And that other hero is, of course, Xiao, the panda. And we haven't quite seen a panda team for a while. In general, we haven't quite seen normal heroes in most of the teams for a while. The exception, of course, being Drake. But this guy, if you can check it, when allies block 6 times total, increases all allies attack by 20% and armor by 20%. So the thing is, like with Hyperspace Hunter Aylamak on the team, you are more than guaranteed to block with like all of your heroes. You get shields on top of that. You have like the armor buff from Xiao, so I'm just waiting for somebody to actually build a good panda team and making that work. Maybe with like Sun Devourer EOS, maybe we will see that. The thing is, of course, once again, I can't test it because you can check my back. No soul symbols to be found here. I used my last soul symbols. I can't even put the sublimations from that Aylamak back on my Sai, so I'm a little bit stuck with the team that I'm using now, which is not bad, because the team actually turned out well, which is pretty good. Otherwise, I would have quite a problem. But yeah, could have been otherwise, could have gone another way. But the thing is, I think this is a really strong hero. The only thing that I don't think that you need is necessarily an A-tier copy. I wanted to get an A-tier copy. I wanted to use that. I wanted to do some Star Expedition damage, but I just don't really believe in it. I think he's a decent hero. I think you can, of course, go for an A-tier copy. You can get one with, for example, like a Divine Block, DR, maybe get some controlling immunity, something like that. Some defensive imprints can work. You can, of course, run GK. It will double his damage in PvE, and I mean, if that is what you're looking for, that is quite alright. He does some decent damage in PvE. Maybe we can just send my PvP team against Scale of the Void Ramsgate. Maybe that is an option. It's 140 Ramsgate. Not too impressive, but I guess it's pretty strong. So, do we even have all the heroes? Or did they steal some? No, they did not. So, that's great. Let's just send my PvP team here to fight against those guys. He is decent in PvE. So, that's not really a problem. Is stun not too reliable? You would usually use like a good CI offset setup for him and then have like maybe Receptor even would be interesting to see that. You can see it's some decent damage that he's putting out. Once this Vulcan attacks though, we won't see much of the enemies remaining, which is a little bit of a difference. That Vulcan has 3 million attack more though, and he has GK, so to say that he does way more damage, obviously. And what we see here is like, it's not bad. It's not bad, it's more than our support heroes. If you put GK on that and you would go have like 15 billion, I mean, that would have been quite decent. That would have been quite decent. It would have not been bad damage at all. So, I mean, like, you can go GK on him. You can get GK. And I think you will have a nice addition to your team. And you will have like a little bit of a hybrid between a support and a damage dealer. Do you need that? Is he like the Vulcan that enables you to clear a lot of stuff? I don't think so. He's like MFF. You put him on the team. Your team will be a lot stronger. He's a great addition to those teams. He helps a lot. He deals a little bit of damage. You can amplify that damage with all sorts of damage buffs, obviously. But should you concentrate on him as a main damage dealer? Probably not. Probably not. I don't really see that. He does not have the burst that a Vulcan or a Mockman have. He just deals decent damage. The only thing that I really don't like is that they made him a warrior again. That is like, they make so many warriors. They just make so many warriors. And this guy, we really don't need another one, to be honest. We really don't need another one. What would have been nice and what I would have found to be quite cool, maybe him to be a ranger. Dodge rate is not like he has a lot of synergy with dodge, but ranger has like some block in Treasure Train. Then again, we obviously take the armor, crit damage reduction, and damage reduction buff for warrior. But yeah, I would love to have like a ranger team. I want to make use of that dodge rate, see what that's all about, and see if we can make that work. If we can make like a dodge team, that would have been cool. But DH doesn't seem to like to release rangers. We mostly get other types of heroes. That was a warrior. That was a warrior. I don't even know when we got the last ranger. Is she a ranger? No, she's a priest. She's a priest. He's an assassin. He's a warrior. Are you a ranger? No. You are a ranger. Freya was like the last ranger. Look at that. And after Freya, we got 3 warriors, 2 priests, and an assassin. That's insane. Am I missing a class? Wait, wasn't there another class? Oh my god, I forgot about that. Mage. Mage. Oh, last mage was Star Alchemist Holmes Young. My god, that has been forever ago. But that is mostly what I wanted to say about Hyperspace Hunter Aylamak. We will go over the sublimations very swiftly now and explain to you guys that. Do you want that? You can take that. That is just for more damage. That is not really the main part of the sublimations that you want. So in my opinion, you can skip on the active skill if you want that. For the basic skill, for the main part, you can skip that too. It's like some precision for the basic skill. Okay, yeah. Some precision reduction, but not really worth it considering we gain 35% block here, and then we have the control immunity reduction. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. So you can skip on the basic skill too. It's not too important. It's nice to have the main part of the skill, because how hard does that actually buff us? 1 sec, we will check. Where's the basic skill? That is not the basic skill. So it gives us 10% more block. This is nice. Like having the basic skill, only the main upgrade to get the 35% block. That is pretty nice. Yeah, and then we have like the splendid block, the passive 2 with the elegance, and that is a pretty nice one. What do we have? Sublimations, HP attack. We obviously know that. Holy damage increase. Yeah, that's very nice. Very nice. And then the additional all damage reduction. So passive 2, that is really one of the passives that you want for him. Then we have the counterattacks, and counterattacks, as I said, are a main part of his skill set. And those are pretty nice. And this is broken. Once this is no longer broken, this will be nice. And the provoke stuff, just reducing the damage, that is nice. I would say from the aura that you want to go for, passive 2 is the most important one. Then you want to go for the passive 3 branch. Get yourself the basic attack upgrade. Maybe get that even between going for from passive 2. Before you do passive 3, you do passive 2 first. Then you do only the main note of the basic attack. Then you go passive 3. And then you can do whatever you like. If you just want some more PvE damage, upgrade the basic, the active skill. If you want to go for full subs after that, get the other 3 nodes. But mainly it is about this part of the branch, the second half, the passive 2 and 3. That is what you really want. Imprint-wise, I was talking about him needing block, and that is true. That is indeed true, but check your block stat. If you have like 100%, if you have like 120%, that is already quite a lot. At what percentage am I running him? Let's check that really fast. We have 154%, which is a little bit much. I could probably allow myself to take this block off, but then we are at 80%. He buffs himself though, so keep that in mind. But there are precision buffs in the meta, and precision and block is like if you have 100% block, the enemy has 50% precision, then it's 100 minus 50%, it's 50% chance to block for you, so that is something to keep in mind. And we have MFF with her precision buffs that are right here, and just increase all as precision by 10% for 3 rounds, so all teams that run MFF will have some innate precision, so keep in mind that you maybe want to go for some block. Stone, go for attack, that is pretty decent. That is like the best stone it can get. Amplifies most of his skills, so attack it is. You can go for speed enables, but I would say the more solid way would actually be to go like this. I only have it for the HP. Currently the speed imprints, I would probably go like this. If you run PDE and otherwise, you can go control purify or something like this. That is alright as well. Decrease crit damage received is something that I would use, especially if you use the core and go for taunt. The core is pretty good. Is that the core that you want for PvE? No, it's not. That is the core that you want for PvP. That is, in my opinion, one of the strongest cores we have for PvP now. So that's pretty great. If you have any more questions about Aylamak, add them to the comments. Maybe we will do another video about Aylamak and how with the questions that you have, and we will answer them in the future or in a few days. We can do that. So add your questions to the comments if you have any. And with that, I wish you a great day, and we will see us in the next one.